From the very beginning, there are moments in life when everything around us seems to be covered by a veil of mystery. It feels as if a truth is waiting in the shadows, close to us, yet hidden from our eyes. Jesus reminds us that what is hidden will never remain in darkness forever. When he says that someone close to you is hiding a secret, he is not speaking to stir fear, but to prepare your heart for what is about to be revealed. Nothing escapes his sight. The deepest corners of the human heart are open before him. And when he chooses to bring something into the light, it is because that truth carries the power to shape your destiny. You must understand that the voice of God never speaks without purpose. If he declares that something hidden will be revealed this very week, it is because the appointed time has come. For so long, you may have carried silent questions, unspoken doubts, or even a quiet unease about things you could not explain. But the Lord does not expose secrets to shame or to harm. He exposes to heal, to free, and to restore. Every revelation from his Spirit is an act of love, a divine intervention designed to break chains you did not even know were binding you. Get ready, because this week will not be ordinary. There is no coincidence in you hearing these words right now. God is about to open your eyes to something that will shift the way you see certain people and situations around you. That secret, which has been hidden so carefully, may have been standing as an invisible barrier to your peace, your progress, or even your blessings. But Jesus declares that this week that wall will come crashing down. This is only the beginning of a greater journey, a journey where every hidden thing will be uncovered and every truth revealed, so that you may walk in the freedom that only God can give. When God speaks of secrets, he is not referring to things that are trivial or without consequence. He is talking about matters that carry weight, truths that have been deliberately kept from you because of fear, shame, or the desire to manipulate circumstances to someone else's advantage. These hidden things are often like silent chains, binding your emotions, clouding your judgment, and holding back the peace that the Lord longs for you to live in. But Jesus has already declared that what is concealed will not remain hidden forever, and what has been whispered in the dark will soon be shouted from the rooftops. This revelation may come in unexpected ways, through a conversation, through an event that seems ordinary, or through a divine nudge that suddenly makes everything clear. God's hand is moving behind the curtain, aligning each piece until the truth emerges in undeniable clarity. Many times, the greatest battles we fight are not with enemies far away, but with the people closest to us, those who share our table, our laughter, and our trust. That is why the pain of betrayal or the shock of hidden truths can cut so deeply. But even in that pain, God is sovereign. He knows the hidden intentions of the heart, and he allows exposure not to destroy you, but to strengthen you. What the enemy wanted to use as a weapon to harm you, the Lord will use as a tool to elevate you. Every secret revealed is a reminder that God will not allow lies to reign in your life forever. He is a God of truth, and where his light shines, the darkness has no power to remain. As you move into this week, do not let fear dictate your steps. Instead, allow anticipation and faith to rise within you. The revelation that Jesus has promised will not come to leave you in ruins. It will come to give you clarity, wisdom, and direction. Some connections may end, and some relationships may be redefined, but do not mourn what is stripped away. The hand of God never removes without also providing something greater. The exposure of this secret is the beginning of freedom, the start of a new chapter where the truth sets you free to walk with greater confidence, discernment, and strength. Hold on to that promise, because God himself has declared that this is your week of revelation, and his word never returns empty. When God sets a time for revelation, it is because he knows you are ready to face the truth. There may have been Seasons before, when your heart was not prepared, when uncovering what was hidden would have left you broken, overwhelmed, or consumed by bitterness. But now, the Lord declares that your spirit has been strengthened through the fire of trials, through the nights of prayer, and through the tears that no one else has seen. You are no longer fragile in the way you once were, and the resilience that God has built within you has prepared you for this very moment. What once would have crushed you will now empower you, and what once would have silenced you will now give you a voice. The secret being revealed is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your testimony, a testimony that will show the world how God uses even hidden things to push His children toward their destiny. Understand this. Truth, no matter how painful it may feel in the moment, is always better than living under the weight of deception. Lies create illusions that drain your strength and steal your joy. But the light of revelation restores what the enemy has tried to take. Jesus is not exposing this secret to embarrass you or to leave you wandering in confusion. He is revealing it because your journey cannot continue forward while shadows linger in your path. The power of His word brings clarity to every hidden detail, stripping away false appearances and showing you reality as it truly is. And once you see the truth, you cannot return to blindness. Your perspective will change, your decisions will shift, and your heart will be free to walk in alignment with the will of God. This is why you must prepare yourself not with fear, but with courage. Courage does not mean you will not feel the weight of what is uncovered, but it means you will choose to trust God even as the truth comes to light. Every secret that is revealed will only push you closer to the person God has called you to be. Every hidden word that comes to the surface is another chain breaking off of your life. And every revelation that may shake you at first will ultimately steady your steps, because it is part of God's divine design to move you forward. Do not be surprised if emotions rise, if relationships shift, or if the ground beneath you feels unsteady. The shaking is temporary, but the freedom that follows will be permanent. And as you step into that freedom, you will look back and realize that this moment of revelation was one of the greatest gifts God could ever give you. There are seasons in life when God chooses to bring things into the light, not because you went searching for them, but because He knows the weight of carrying what is false has gone on long enough. Some of you have been sensing that something was not quite right, almost like a quiet stirring in your spirit, a whisper that something around you was hidden in the shadows. That uneasiness was not just your imagination, it was the Spirit of God gently preparing your heart for what is about to be uncovered. He has been aligning the right moments, the right circumstances, and the right timing, so that when the secret is revealed, it will not only make sense, but it will also position you for breakthrough. Nothing in your life escapes His divine calendar, and the fact that He has marked this week for revelation means that heaven has already orchestrated the unveiling that will set you free. When a secret is kept in darkness for too long, it begins to poison everything it touches. It distorts relationships, it weakens trust, and it creates distance between hearts that were meant to be united. But the Lord never intended for you to live in that kind of atmosphere. His word says that the truth will set you free, and this is why He steps into the hidden corners that others try to conceal. This revelation is not punishment, it is restoration. It is God removing the fog that has clouded your vision so you can finally see clearly. And even though the truth may shock you, even though it may bring a wave of emotions you were not expecting, remember this: God reveals only what He knows you can handle, and He strengthens you for the very moment when the light breaks through the darkness. This week, when that secret comes to light, you will have a choice to make. You can allow the enemy to use it as a source of pain and division, or you can choose to see it through the lens of God's greater plan. Do not let bitterness be your response. Do not let fear dictate your steps. Instead, allow faith to rise within you, because every revelation God gives is meant to lead you higher, not leave you lower. Yes, things may change. Yes, some relationships may never be the same. But what will not change is the faithfulness of the Lord, who walks beside you. He is guiding you through this process, and even when your heart trembles, His hand will remain steady, pulling you closer to the purpose He has always had for your life. When the Lord begins to reveal what has been hidden, it is not just about exposing a secret. It is about realigning your life with truth so that His promises can flow without obstruction. For too long, deception may have been like a heavy curtain drawn over your circumstances, blocking the light and keeping you from walking fully in the freedom Jesus died to give you. But now, He is pulling that curtain back, and when the light shines through, nothing will look the same. You will begin to see people for who they truly are, motives for what they really were, and situations for what they always meant in the greater plan of God. It may sting, it may shake you, but it will also liberate you, because the chains of falsehood cannot survive where God has chosen to bring clarity. This unveiling is not simply about information, it is about transformation, about breaking cycles that have held you captive and pushing you into the new season He has already prepared. Think of how the enemy operates, always in the dark, always in secrecy, always trying to plant confusion and distortion where God has planted peace. The devil knows that as long as a lie remains hidden, it has power. It has power to divide, to weaken, to delay. But the moment the truth is brought into the light, that power is broken instantly. That is why Jesus declares that nothing hidden will stay concealed forever. What He is promising for your life this week is not just a revelation of someone else's secret, but a revelation that strips away the enemy's influence over your heart. The Lord is not allowing this truth to surface so you can feel abandoned or betrayed. He is doing it so you can finally be free from what has silently oppressed you. Every detail uncovered is another victory over the enemy. Another reminder that God will not allow darkness to write the last chapter of your story. And as this revelation unfolds, you must remember that God's love for you is unshakable. He is not revealing this to leave you alone with the weight of the truth. He is revealing it so you will lean on Him like never before. In moments where you feel overwhelmed, His Spirit will whisper peace into your soul. When questions rise in your mind, He will provide answers through His Word and through His presence. Even if people around you fail, even if trust is broken, His faithfulness will never fail. This week may shake the ground beneath your feet, but do not fear, because God is your foundation, and what He is building in your life cannot be destroyed by the exposure of a secret. On the contrary, it will only become stronger, clearer, and more unshakable, because you will be walking in truth, and truth is the soil where freedom and destiny grow. Every time God allows a secret to be revealed, He is teaching us something profound about His character, that He is the God of justice, the God of light, and the God of truth. He cannot be deceived, and He will not allow His children to remain trapped in environments where lies are flourishing unchecked. While people may try to disguise their intentions or hide their actions, there is no mask strong enough to withstand the eyes of the Almighty. He sees beyond appearances, beyond carefully constructed words, and beyond the walls people build around their hearts. And when the moment comes for Him to unveil what has been hidden, He does so not out of vengeance, but out of mercy, because He loves you too much to let you live under falsehood. His revelation is a gift, a painful but necessary blessing that saves you from investing trust in places where betrayal has been quietly planted. Think of how liberating it will be when the weight you didn't even realize you were carrying is finally lifted from your shoulders. Secrets, whether spoken or unspoken, carry an energy that burdens those around them. You may have felt restless without knowing why, uneasy without a clear explanation, or spiritually drained without a visible cause. That was the effect of hidden darkness operating too close to your life. But once the truth comes to light, that invisible weight will be broken, and you will finally understand what has been happening behind the scenes. With clarity will come freedom, and with freedom will come strength. The very thing that was intended to deceive you will end up becoming the key that unlocks a new chapter in your life, a chapter marked not by confusion or suspicion, but by discernment and wisdom that only God can give. And when this moment of revelation happens, you must decide to anchor your heart in grace. Yes, it is natural to feel anger, disappointment, or even shock when someone close has hidden something from you. But remember that the revelation is not meant to push you into bitterness. It is meant to propel you into a deeper reliance on God. He will not only expose the secret, but will also equip you with the strength to handle it. The grace of the Lord is sufficient, even in moments when your heart feels raw and exposed. If you choose to stand firm in His love, what was meant to harm you will instead elevate you, and what the enemy meant for evil, God will turn for good. This week will mark a turning point in your story, and though the truth may shake you, the foundation of Christ beneath you will remain unshakable. There are moments in life when God removes the veil, not only to protect you, but also to reveal the depth of His commitment to your future. He has seen the nights you have wrestled with questions you could not answer, the hours when your spirit felt unsettled, and the quiet battles that left you weary and uncertain. This is why He has chosen to step in now, in this very season, because He knows that clarity is no longer optional, it is essential. What He reveals may shake the trust you once placed in someone, but it will also anchor your faith more deeply in Him. The truth He is bringing to light will not only set you free from deception, but will also act as a compass, pointing you toward the path He has destined for you. And though the process of revelation may feel like a storm, remember that storms are often the very instruments God uses to clear the air and make way for new beginnings. Hidden secrets often serve as invisible barriers to your growth. They create environments where manipulation can thrive, where lies become tools of control, and where your peace slowly erodes without explanation. Yet Jesus refuses to let you remain bound in places that hinder your calling. The uncovering that is about to take place is not just about exposing what someone else has done. It is about liberating you from the atmosphere of falsehood that has lingered around you. When the truth is unveiled, it will be like a breath of fresh air after years of inhaling smoke. Suddenly, you will see with clarity, hear with discernment, and make decisions with a wisdom that was clouded before. The secret itself is not the final message. The message is that God will never allow you to live bound by what others try to conceal. And when the revelation comes, you must remember to view it through the eyes of faith. Without faith, the truth can feel like a wound too heavy to bear, but with faith, it becomes the doorway into a greater strength. Do not allow your heart to cling to the pain of betrayal or the shock of disappointment. Instead, lift your eyes to the one who has always been faithful, the one who knew this moment was coming and prepared you for it long before you realized what was happening. Trust that He's not only exposing, but also healing, not only tearing down, but also building up. This secret being revealed will not destroy you. It will refine you, shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the destiny that lies ahead. And when you look back, you will not only remember the pain of what was uncovered, but the power of the God who stood with you in the midst of it. When God exposes what has been hidden, He is not simply revealing information. He is positioning you for transformation. He knows that as long as certain truths remain buried, your spirit cannot walk in complete freedom. There are blessings He has prepared for you, doors waiting to open, and opportunities designed for your growth. But deception has acted like a heavy stone blocking the entrance. The unveiling that is about to take place is God's way of removing that barrier, of making sure nothing stands in the way of the promises He has spoken over your life. And though the truth may come with tears, confusion, or even a moment of grief, it will also come with a wave of relief, because you will no longer be chained to the weight of uncertainty. You will stand on solid ground, no longer swayed by shadows, but guided by the clarity of God's light. Consider how powerful the presence of truth really is. Lies are fragile. They need constant covering, endless excuses, and repeated efforts to survive. But truth stands strong on its own. It does not require defense because it carries its own authority. When the Lord reveals what has been hidden, He is not only silencing deception, but He is also strengthening your discernment so that you will no longer be easily misled. This moment will become a training ground for your spirit, sharpening your ability to see beyond appearances and to sense the reality behind words. From this week forward, you will not just take things at face value. You will look deeper, listen closer, and discern with greater accuracy. And this sharpening is not just for your protection now, but for the greater battles and blessings ahead, where discernment will be the key that keeps you in alignment with God's will. And perhaps most importantly, remember that revelation is always tied to redemption. God does not reveal to leave you broken. He reveals to rebuild you stronger than before. The truth that comes to light may separate you from certain people, but it will also draw you closer to those who are meant to walk with you. It may close certain doors, but it will also open others that you never imagined. The Lord is never careless with His timing. And if He has chosen this very week to expose what was hidden, it is because this moment is strategic in His plan for your life. Do not see it as the end of something, but as the beginning of something far greater. This unveiling will not strip you of hope. It will anchor you in it. It will not leave you empty. It will position you to be filled with more of His truth, His peace, and His unstoppable purpose for your journey. When God decides to reveal a secret, it is because He knows the truth must be placed in your hands to set you free. For too long, you may have been carrying questions without answers, wondering why certain things never added up, why certain words felt empty, or why your spirit sensed something was hidden just beneath the surface. That inner stirring was not your imagination. It was the Holy Spirit preparing you for this very moment. Now, as the truth begins to unfold, you will realize that God has been working all along, orchestrating every detail so that when the revelation comes, it will not crush you, but instead empower you. This exposure is not meant to weaken you, but to strip away the fog of confusion and give you a clarity you have desperately needed. What you discover may change the way you look at some people, but it will also give you the strength to walk forward with confidence, knowing that God has brought everything into the light for your good. The nature of secrets is that they create false realities, and false realities demand that you live in constant tension. They keep you guessing, they drain your peace, and they force you to carry burdens that are not yours to bear. But God refuses to let you remain in that atmosphere. His word declares that He is light, and in Him there is no darkness at all. That means wherever He steps, shadows must flee. The secret that is being revealed this week is part of that process. God stepping into your situation and demanding that the shadows retreat. It may not be easy to face, but it will be liberating, because the moment truth is spoken, lies lose their grip. The chain that once held you will be broken, and the weight that once pressed you down will be lifted. Freedom will replace oppression, and clarity will replace confusion, because Jesus Himself has stepped in to uncover what was hidden. And as this unveiling happens, you must learn to trust that God's purpose is greater than the pain of the process. He never reveals without also providing healing. He never exposes without also preparing restoration. The truth may sting at first, but that sting will not last forever. What will remain is the freedom that comes when you walk in the light. This week is not simply about learning something you did not know. It is about stepping into a higher level of discernment, wisdom, and strength. You will not only see the truth about others, but you will also see more clearly the truth about yourself. The resilience God has built in you, the faith He has cultivated within you, and the destiny He has placed before you. What was hidden will no longer hold power over your life, because Jesus has declared that the truth is coming forth, and once you see it, you will never walk the same again. Every revelation that comes from God carries within it the power to change the atmosphere of your life. When He brings a hidden truth into the light, it is not just an isolated event. It sets off a chain reaction that impacts your relationships, your decisions, and even the way you see your own journey. Secrets thrive in silence, but once exposed, their grip is broken. That is why this moment is so significant. The Lord has chosen this week to shatter illusions that have lingered around you, illusions that may have kept you tied to false expectations, or blinded you from seeing reality as it truly is. And while the unveiling may feel like a shock at first, it will ultimately be the very thing that clears the path ahead. A divine reset that strips away the clutter of deception and gives you the ability to walk forward with a heart anchored in truth. Think of how heavy it has been to carry questions that never found answers, to sense something was wrong, but not have the clarity to confront it. That weight has been slowly draining your strength even when you tried to ignore it. But God loves you too much to let you remain in that place. He has been patient, allowing you time to grow, to mature, and to become strong enough to handle what is about to be revealed. This week, when the truth comes, you will understand why He waited until now. He was not withholding from you, He was protecting you, ensuring that when the moment arrived, you would be ready to face it not with fear, but with faith. What once might have destroyed you will now be the very thing that builds you up, because the foundation of your life is no longer built on people or circumstances, but on the unshakable Word of God. And once the secret is revealed, your perspective will never be the same again. You will begin to see patterns that once confused you now making sense, motives that were once hidden now becoming clear, and pathways that were once blocked now opening up. This clarity will not just help you navigate your present, it will prepare you for your future. God is giving you the gift of sight, the ability to discern beyond appearances and to walk in wisdom that only comes through His Spirit. The unveiling is not an end, but a beginning, the beginning of a season where you no longer live bound by what others tried to hide, but empowered by the light that sets you free. And as you step into this new chapter, you will carry with you the assurance that what God reveals, He also redeems, and what He exposes, He also transforms for His glory and for your good. When God brings revelation, He is not only dealing with the hidden actions of others, He is also shaping your heart to become more sensitive to His voice. What is about to be revealed in your life is not just information, it is a lesson in discernment. You will come to understand that every whisper you felt in your spirit, every moment of unease you carried, was God quietly preparing you for this unveiling. For so long you may have doubted yourself, wondering if you were imagining things, questioning whether your instincts were wrong. But when the secret comes into the light, you will realize that it was the Holy Spirit guiding you, confirming that He has never left you blind. And from this moment forward, your ability to hear Him will grow sharper, your confidence in His leading will become stronger, and your trust in His timing will be unshakable. Secrets are heavy, not only because of what they hide, but because of what they steal. They rob you of peace, drain your emotional strength, and build invisible walls between you and the life God desires for you. That is why exposure is so important. It tears down the walls that were silently separating you from truth. When this revelation comes, the weight that has pressed on your spirit without explanation will be lifted, and you will finally breathe deeply again. You will see that God was not allowing you to be deceived forever. Instead, He was aligning everything for this appointed moment. Even though the truth may sting, it will heal. Even though it may hurt, it will liberate. And that liberation will become the soil where trust in God grows deeper than ever before. Do not be surprised if this week feels like a turning point, because it is. Once God reveals, He does not allow you to return to the same patterns of blindness. This revelation will change the way you walk, the way you think, and the way you choose your future. It will open your eyes not only to what has been hidden, but also to the importance of living fully in the light yourself. You will carry a new resolve to embrace transparency, to pursue authenticity, and to guard your spirit against deception. The truth coming forth is not just about what someone else has done. It is about the kind of life God is calling you to live, a life rooted in His light, unshaken by shadows, and empowered by the unbreakable strength that comes when your steps are aligned with His truth. When the Lord chooses to uncover what has been hidden, He does so with precision, never too early and never too late. His timing is perfect, even when it collides with our emotions. What will be revealed in your life this week may surprise you, but it will not surprise God. He has seen every detail long before you became aware of it. The unveiling is His way of aligning your path with His truth, removing every hidden obstacle that has been silently resisting your progress. What was kept in darkness has had its time, but the light of God refuses to let deception last forever. You are stepping into a moment where clarity will pierce through confusion, where answers will silence the questions that have been haunting you, and where God's voice will confirm that He has always been guiding you toward freedom, even when you couldn't see it. The revelation of a secret often feels like a shaking because it disrupts the version of reality you thought you knew. But disruption is not destruction, it is preparation. God removes the false in order to establish the true. If He allows you to see what has been hidden, it is because He knows that only by seeing clearly can you move forward into His promises. Think of this moment as a divine reset, a chance to release illusions that never belong to you and to embrace the truth that will set you free. Though it may hurt to face, this revelation is not meant to weaken you, but to empower you, stripping away layers of deception that were never designed to cover your life. And as the truth unfolds, you will realize that God is not just exposing what others have hidden, He is also building within you a resilience that no lie could ever take away. And after the revelation comes, your faith will rise in ways you never imagined. You will begin to see the fingerprints of God in every detail, recognizing that He was preparing you all along for this unveiling. You will no longer doubt whether He hears your prayers, because you will see that His timing is always deliberate. The peace that follows will be deeper than the pain that comes at first, and the wisdom gained will outlast the sting of disappointment. From this week forward, you will carry with you a sharpened discernment, a deeper trust, and a stronger conviction that nothing hidden can remain hidden when God has declared it is time to bring it to light. This moment is not the end. It is the gateway into a future that will be built on the unshakable foundation of His truth. When the truth is revealed, it may feel like a storm tearing through every area of your life, but storms in the hands of God are never meant to destroy you. They are meant to clear away what no longer belongs. The secret that is coming to light this week is not random. It is a divine act of mercy. God has seen the hidden words, the hidden actions, the hidden motives, and He has said, "No more." The exposure is his way of cutting the ties that have been draining you silently, the ties that were designed to keep you from stepping fully into your purpose. And though the truth may shake you, it will also steady you, because once the deception is broken, your steps will no longer stumble over shadows. Instead, you will walk in a confidence that comes from knowing your God has made sure that nothing false will remain in control of your destiny. It is important to recognize that when God reveals, he is not only unveiling what was hidden, but he is also unveiling you. This moment will awaken parts of your spirit that have been dormant, sharpening your discernment, igniting your courage, and drawing out a strength you did not realize you possessed. You will begin to see how every uneasiness you felt was not paranoia but preparation, how every unanswered question was not silence but strategy, and how every delay was not neglect but divine timing. God has been carefully setting the stage for this very hour, because the truth you are about to face is not only about what was hidden in others, it is also about the victory he is establishing in you. This revelation is an unveiling of his power at work in your life, proving that nothing can remain concealed when his hand decides to bring it forth. And though the process may bring pain, you must keep your eyes fixed on the purpose. Do not allow the initial shock to blind you from the greater story God is writing. Yes, you may feel disappointment. Yes, you may feel the sting of betrayal. But beyond those emotions lies a freedom that cannot be shaken. God will use this moment to purify your relationships, to refine your faith, and to reset your path so that nothing false remains attached to you. What is revealed will be like a fire, burning away the impurities, but leaving behind the gold of your character, the strength of your faith, and the clarity of your vision. And when the fire subsides, you will see yourself standing stronger, freer, and more aligned with the destiny God has always prepared. What was once hidden has no power over you anymore, because you belong to the one who is truth itself, and in him you will rise above every secret that was meant to hold you down. When God begins to lift the veil from what was hidden, he is not only showing you the reality of others, he is also shaping your own identity through the process. You are not the same person who once doubted, who once lived uncertain of the whispers in your spirit. Now you are being forged in the fire of truth, and that fire is refining you into someone who can no longer be easily shaken by appearances. The secret that is coming to light this week will not just answer questions you've carried, it will establish a new level of confidence in your ability to discern, to see beyond surface words and crafted images, and to hear the quiet warnings of the Holy Spirit. This revelation will be both a shield and a sword that protects you from further deception, and a sword that cuts through every lie that has tried to weave itself into your story. There is also a deeper spiritual battle unfolding around this moment. For too long, the enemy has relied on what was hidden to keep you bound, to keep you doubting yourself, and to keep you questioning the presence of God in your situation. But with every revelation, the enemy loses ground. He thrives in secrecy, but he is powerless in the light. The exposure of this secret is more than information. It is a declaration that Satan has no control over your future. Every hidden scheme, every whispered lie, every manipulative tactic falls apart when God steps in and declares, "Enough." The truth you are about to see will break chains you didn't even realize were weighing you down, and it will silence voices that sought to confuse or discourage you. What once seemed like uncertainty will transform into clarity, because God has spoken, and his word always overcomes the shadows. And after the unveiling, you will realize that what felt like loss was actually protection, what felt like betrayal was actually preparation, and what felt like pain was actually God's hand guiding you to a greater purpose. He is not just removing a secret, he is removing the influence that secret had on your life. He is repositioning you to walk in greater strength, greater wisdom, and greater freedom. When the dust settles, you will not be the same. You will be stronger, wiser, and more discerning. The people who remain in your life after this revelation will be those aligned with truth, and those who fall away will only confirm that they were never meant to be part of your destiny. This is the work of God's hand, painful in the moment, but powerful in its outcome. You will not walk away broken. You will walk away built, prepared to step into the fullness of the life He has always promised. Every secret that God reveals carries with it an invitation, a call to step into deeper trust and deeper intimacy with Him. You may not have asked for this revelation, and perhaps you would have preferred not to know. But God, in His wisdom, knows that the truth will equip you in ways ignorance never could. What is being exposed this week is not meant to make you fearful. It is meant to prepare you for the greater places He is leading you into. Lies cannot survive in the atmosphere of the promises He has planned for your life, and so He strips them away, even when it hurts. The unveiling may shake your confidence in others, but it will reinforce your confidence in God, because you will see that He is the only one who can truly be trusted without limits. And from this day forward, you will learn to lean more heavily on His voice, to rest more deeply in His presence, and to walk more boldly in His truth. Think of how many prayers you have prayed, asking God for clarity, asking Him for answers, asking Him to show you what was really happening around you. This moment is His response to those prayers. He has heard every cry, every question whispered in the dark, every moment when you looked at your circumstances and felt the weight of confusion pressing down. Now He is saying, I am revealing, because I love you too much to let you remain. In the shadows, the truth may not come in the way you expected, and it may not be delivered through the person you imagined, but when it arrives, you will know it is God's hand at work. He does not expose to shame you. He exposes to heal you. He does not uncover to leave you abandoned. He uncovers to strengthen you. This revelation is an answer from heaven, a sign that the silence you endured was not neglect, but preparation for this breakthrough moment. And once the truth is made clear, you will notice a shift in your spirit that cannot be denied. The heaviness you carried without explanation will lift, the questions that lingered will finally find answers, and the uncertainty that once clouded your mind will give way to peace. You will begin to see your future with new eyes, unburdened by the weight of deception and free to move forward with confidence. What God reveals this week is not an end, but a beginning. The beginning of a new season marked by truth, discernment, and strength. You will no longer live in fear of the unknown, because the one who knows all has chosen to open your eyes. And with that vision, you will step boldly into the destiny He has been preparing for you all along. What the enemy meant for harm, God has turned into your greatest unveiling, your moment of breakthrough, and your doorway into freedom. When God uncovers what was hidden, He is not only exposing the truth about others, but also revealing the truth about Himself, His faithfulness, His attentiveness, His unwavering commitment to your life. For so long, you may have wondered if He saw what you were going through, if He noticed the subtle cracks that no one else seemed to acknowledge, if He cared about the unease that lingered in your spirit. This revelation is His answer. Yes, He sees, yes, He knows, and yes, He cares deeply. The exposure of this secret is heaven's reminder that you have never been left alone in the shadows. God's eyes have been on you every step of the way, and now, at the perfect time, He is shining His light to guide you into freedom. The unveiling is not just about what was hidden. It is about His love being made undeniable in your life. Do not underestimate the weight of what God is doing in this moment. Every lie that falls apart, every secret that crumbles, every hidden truth that comes into the open is a victory in the spiritual realm. The enemy thrives in deception because darkness is his territory, But when God speaks light, that territory collapses instantly. What has been hidden may have tried to keep you bound in fear, doubt, or mistrust, but the moment it is revealed, those chains will be broken. And in the breaking, you will discover a strength within yourself that you did not realize was there. This strength is not your own. It is the resilience God has been building in you through every trial, every tear, every prayer whispered in silence. Now that resilience will rise, and it will become a testimony of how God can turn even painful revelations into stepping stones for destiny. And once you walk through this unveiling, you will carry with you a wisdom that cannot be taught by men, only by God. You will see relationships differently, not with suspicion, but with discernment. You will make decisions differently, not out of pressure, but out of clarity. And you will trust differently, not by leaning on human strength, but by anchoring your heart in the one who never lies, never hides, and never deceives. This is the gift of revelation. It strips away illusions so that what remains is unshakable truth. And in that truth, you will find the courage to step boldly into your next season, knowing that no secret has the power to derail the plans God has for you. This week will not mark your downfall. It will mark your awakening. It will be the moment you realize that the light of God is stronger than any shadow, and that His truth will always prevail. Every unveiling that God allows has a greater purpose woven into it, one that stretches beyond the moment of shock or the sting of disappointment. He reveals in order to reposition, to realign, and to redirect your steps toward the path of destiny He has already prepared. The secret being exposed. This week may feel like a breaking, but in reality it is a birthing. Something new is being born inside of you, clarity, strength, and discernment that could not have grown while you remained under the weight of deception. This unveiling is the cutting away of what no longer serves you, the removal of what has been silently hindering your growth. And though it may come with pain, it is also drenched in promise. You are being prepared for a future that demands truth, because truth is the soil where faith thrives, and deception cannot exist where God's promises are ready to unfold. It is also important to recognize that when God reveals, He not only exposes the heart of others, but also calls you to examine your own. Revelation acts like a mirror, forcing you to confront areas within yourself that may have tolerated falsehood, settled for half-truths, or ignored the quiet warnings of the Spirit. But now, as the light shines, you will no longer walk with that same complacency. You will be awakened to a higher standard, a deeper hunger for authenticity, and a sharper sensitivity to what belongs and what does not in your life. This moment will mark a transformation within you, not just in what you know, but in who you are becoming, a person fully committed to walking in God's truth, even when it costs you comfort, relationships, or illusions that once felt safe. And after this unveiling, your story will not be marked by the secret that was hidden, but by the God who revealed it. People may point to the exposure, but you will point to the freedom. They may see the brokenness, but you will see the breakthrough. For every hidden thing that comes to light, there is a greater blessing being prepared, and God is ensuring that you will not only survive this season, but rise stronger because of it. What was meant to break you will build you. What was designed to silence you will amplify your voice, and what was orchestrated in darkness will become a testimony of the power of God's light. This week is not just about uncovering what someone else tried to hide. It is about revealing the unstoppable truth that you are chosen, protected, and destined to walk in freedom, no matter what shadows try to surround you. When the Lord uncovers what has been concealed, He is also calling you into a higher level of trust in Him. The truth that comes forth may not be easy to process, yet it is a reminder that God sees what you cannot, and He acts on your behalf even when you do not realize it. This moment is not designed to break your faith, but to strengthen it, because in the unveiling, you will learn firsthand that your future is not in the hands of men, nor dependent on their honesty, but firmly secured in the sovereignty of God. The revelation you're about to witness is His way of reminding you that you were never meant to lean fully on human words or human promises, but on His word alone, which never fails, never deceives, and never shifts like shadows. Through this process, you will discover that the one who is truth himself has been guiding your steps all along, ensuring that lies would never define your destiny. The power of revelation is that it redefines your perspective. Once a secret is brought into the light, it cannot be hidden again, and your vision of reality is forever changed. That change may come with grief, with disappointment, or with the shattering of expectations you once held, but in that breaking is the foundation for something greater. God does not reveal to destroy your future. He reveals to rebuild it on the solid ground of His truth. Think of how fragile it is to build on lies. Every step feels uncertain. Every wall feels unstable. Every moment feels like it could collapse. But when you stand on the truth God has revealed, your footing becomes secure, your faith becomes unshakable, and your steps become guided by clarity instead of confusion. This is why revelation, though painful, is one of the most powerful expressions of His love, because it refuses to let you remain bound in deception. And when the dust settles after the unveiling, you will not look back with despair, but with gratitude that God did not leave you in the dark. Gratitude that He loved you enough to expose what was hidden. Gratitude that what others tried to conceal could not escape His gaze. And as you reflect, you will see that this moment was not about loss, but about gain. Gaining wisdom, gaining freedom, and gaining the ability to move forward without the weight of deception holding you back. What is being revealed this week will not just alter your present circumstances. It will echo into your future, shaping the way you walk, the way you choose, and the way you trust. From this moment on, you will carry a testimony that nothing hidden can withstand the light of God, and that His love for you is powerful enough to expose, to heal, and to transform every hidden thing into a stepping stone toward destiny. Every unveiling God allows is connected to a larger story that He has been writing over your life since the very beginning. You may see this moment as sudden, unexpected, and disruptive, but in reality, the Lord has been preparing you for it for far longer than you know. He has been strengthening your heart in private so that you would have the resilience to stand in public when the truth comes forth. He has been whispering to your spirit in the midnight hours, stirring discernment within you, shaping your perception, and aligning your emotions with His word. Now, as the hidden is revealed, you will look back and realize that every prayer, every unanswered question, and every uneasy feeling was part of His preparation. Nothing about this week is accidental. It is the fulfillment of a process heaven has already orchestrated. And though it may come with pain, it is pain that produces transformation. It is crucial to understand that the truth being revealed is not designed to leave you paralyzed by disappointment, but to liberate you from cycles that would have otherwise kept repeating. Lies have a way of weaving themselves into the fabric of life, forcing you to build on foundations that will eventually crumble. But God, in His mercy, does not let you continue constructing a future on what cannot last. He exposes deception so that your life will be rooted in what is eternal, unshakable, and true. This is why, even in the hurt, there will also be relief. Relief that the uncertainty is over. Relief that clarity has finally come. Relief that you no longer have to wonder what was hidden in the dark. God's revelation will bring a freedom so deep that it will outweigh the sting of betrayal or the shock of discovery, because you will realize that His truth is always more powerful than any lie. And as this revelation unfolds, it will not only change how you see others, but also how you see yourself. You will recognize a new strength within you, a strength you did not know existed until the weight of deception was lifted. You will see that God has made you more resilient than you imagined, more discerning than you believed, and more prepared for the future than you ever thought possible. This unveiling will mark a defining moment in your journey, where you stop questioning your intuition, where you stop doubting God's whispers, and where you step into a new season of confidence and clarity. From now on, you will no longer walk uncertain of the voices around you, because you will know the voice of the one who is truth itself. And in that truth, you will find the courage to move forward without fear, knowing that God has already gone ahead of you, clearing every shadow and making your path straight. This final moment of revelation is not meant to leave you broken. It is meant to mark a turning point in your story. God has declared that what was hidden will be revealed, and now you are standing at the threshold of that promise. You have endured confusion, carried unanswered questions, and walked with the heaviness of not knowing. But this week, the Lord Himself has stepped in to lift that weight from your shoulders. What is being exposed may challenge you. It may shake your emotions, but it will also strengthen your spirit, because once the truth is revealed, there is no going back to deception, no returning to the uncertainty that held you captive. This is the hour where God calls you into freedom, into clarity, and into the kind of peace that only comes when you know you are walking in the light of His presence. And as you step forward, you will begin to realize that this unveiling is not just about what others have done. It is about what God is doing in you. He is shaping you into someone stronger, someone wiser, someone who refuses to live in the shadows of secrecy. The secret being revealed is not the end of your story. It is the catalyst that propels you into a new season. You will carry with you a sharpened discernment, a deeper reliance on God, and a faith that is no longer fragile but fortified. Every disappointment will be replaced with determination, every shock with strength, and every tear with testimony. The light of truth will not leave you empty. It will fill you with vision, courage, and a renewed sense of destiny. So do not fear the revelation, but embrace it as the gift it truly is. For what is revealed in this week will prepare you for years to come. It will protect you from future deceptions. It will guide you into healthier connections, and it will serve as a constant reminder that God is the keeper of your heart and the guardian of your future. As you walk into this new chapter, hold fast to the truth that the same God who reveals is the God who restores, and the same God who exposes is the God who heals. This week does not mark your downfall, it marks your rising. It is the beginning of a testimony that will declare to the world, no secret, no lie, no deception can stand against the light of God. You are free, you are chosen, and you are walking into a destiny that no shadow can ever conceal again.